Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about hands and wrists and arms and how to give them some love, especially if you are a person that uses that part of your body a lot, whether you're on the computer or on your phone or doing some kind of manual labor. Like, all of these things can get us really tightened and tensed up. We can lose strength, our muscles can atrophy. We can develop weird compensation patterns where we're like, what is happening? This hurts over here, but now this hurts over here. So let's talk a few ways about caring for wrists and arms that are connected to neck and chest, and of course also influence everything else going on in our bodies. So for me, similarly to with everything that I do, I often like to start off just by getting my blood pumping, getting things warm, moving, rather than going into any kind of stretch or exercise cold. Also just allowing my body to release some of the tension that I'm holding before I go into any kind of stretch. So for me, I like to get up. I can also remain seated though, if that's better for you. And I just like to get everything moving, so just allowing my joints to kind of bounce, almost getting them lubricated in that way, shaking, wiggling, dancing around, whatever is going to work for your body. I like to really focus on my joints while I do this, since so much tension and stiffness can hang out there for us. So since we're focusing on wrists and hands, I will focus in on those, but by all means, like, roll out your ankles, roll out your knees, roll out your shoulders, swing side to side, get everything loose and moving. And then when you are ready to focus in, maybe do some elbow circles, trying to keep your shoulders down, your chest open. Let's do some shoulder circles, allowing your elbows to gently fall, getting a little looser. You can isolate one at a time. You might be wondering, Jay, why are you focusing on your shoulders when you're talking about wrists and hands? Well, as I will talk about in a follow-up video, we have a nerve complex that runs all the way down through neck, into pecs, into arm, out through hands. So really important to get this whole section moving and loose, warmed up. So I'm just kind of isolating each shoulder joint. I can isolate each elbow, just getting things loosened a little bit. Rolling wrists. So you notice that I have spread my fingers wide. I like to roll out my wrists like this. I also like to do an intentional fist, roll them out like that. And if you are someone who's often cramped up on a phone or a keyboard or doing massage therapy like me, you might notice some things starting to yell on the underside of your wrist here. We will talk about differences in carpal tunnel and other conditions that can come up in a follow-up video. So I'm just rolling these wrists, and then I'm gonna stretch out those undersides of the wrists. So you can just open up your fingers, put them straight out in front of you, and release, go into fist, roll out, shake out. You can also add your other hand to pull those fingers back, really opening up that carpal tunnel. You can do that the other direction too, so really getting forearm opened up and the side of the wrist, getting all of those ligaments and tendons involved. Just kind of roll that out. Sometimes I often also like to just give some nice gentle arm squeezes, like down into my elbow, up the side of my forearm, both sides. When you're in anatomical neutral, which is thumbs out, pinkies by your side, you can distinguish one side of your arm versus the other of this is the ulnar side, the inside with the pinky to the elbow, and then the radial side is the thumb up to the elbow. We learned this in massage school as like right on radius. That will forever stick in my brain. So get into anatomical neutral, and then your radial side, your ulnar side. So I like to really pay attention to both of these sides. We have nerves all through here, so just kind of giving them some space is how I like to think about these squeezes. Like I'm just giving everything a little bit more room that has gotten really cramped up. So I'm kind of squeezing and pulling out to the side. Sometimes I'll get a good grip and then just rotate my arm as well, and I can, if I get a good grip and kind of just gently pull down, I'm not bearing down or anything, just getting a nice little grip, pulling down, I can open my wrist this way as well, side to side, front back, rotation. I can also do this with my arm all the way out with my fingers, opening and closing one finger at a time. Gets kind of tricky. Doing that on both sides, noticing the difference between my right and my left. Ooh, noticing where it is kind of tense. Typing muscles that get really funky, especially with thumb on the phone, on the keyboard. If you just kind of grab this area of skin that gets kind of built up in here, either get some fingers into it or just grab it, that's a nice one to loosen up. And then make sure you're breathing while you're doing this. Make sure your knees are bent if you're standing. Just a little bounce in your knees. Or if you're seated, just allow your weight to comfortably, gently sink into your chair. Alright, so after you've kind of gotten things warmed up a little bit, maybe some opening and closing of the fingers, just getting everything pumping. Alright, a lot of folks like to do this one. If you're doing this one, try to keep your shoulders down. We're not up here. I mean, we could be, but you're not going to get as much benefit to the whole area. So, stretching out this way. If you do the back one where you stretch out the other way, again, keep shoulders down, chest open. Take a minute to find your core. Take a minute to find your connection to the floor with your feet. One that I like to do to keep opening each side of my wrist is open my hands, put my fingers together, keep my shoulders down, allow those fingers to slowly open naturally on their own as I bring my hands down. You can do that the reverse way by backs of hands together, shoulders down, coming on up. Maybe clasping your hands, doing a little roll each direction. If You might hear some snap, crackle, pop of your joints. As long as there's no pain, that's probably okay. If any pain, definitely stop. We have so many different tools in our toolbox. Alright, what else do I like to do? Kind of getting the whole arm involved. I'll have my elbows out in front so that they're squared. My joints are squared, elbow, shoulder. And I will move my arms down. Whoo, that's lighting up right there because that area is tense and tight on me. So allowing fingers to go down and up. And you can do that with fist. Try that out. And you can do that with open palms. Alright, let's shake all that out. Other things that I like to do. Alright, so get a ball, lacrosse ball, tennis ball, perhaps with some cat hair on it, some kind of massage ball or Thera ball, and just roll your palm that's probably very tight for whatever reason. You can get into the thumb joint, just roll it around. You can also put it up towards your elbow, rolling that around. And don't make this a job for your upper body. Just use gravity. Just lean into it. Roll it around your elbow, roll it around your forearm. If the ball rolls around and tries to escape like it just did on me, you can always put a towel down and then the ball. Other things that I like to do, if you get a ball probably around this size, you can do individual finger squeezes. It becomes tricky if you've lost some strength or coordination. But hence the point of doing this. Just full squeezes. Let's see, what else? You can pass it from one finger to another. If you're working more on dexterity. If you're working more on strength, just say it feels like your hands are kind of weak, your wrists are kind of weak. These little squeezy things, they have a name. I will put the name in the comments of this video. Anyway, these are my best friend. They keep my wrists doing okay. Just doing like 3 sets of 10 here and there when I can. Sometimes I'll, focus in individually one at a time. Sometimes I'll do them together. Again, try to watch what the rest of your body is doing. So shoulders down, elbows relaxed. You can do it down here. You can do it up here. Just noticing the difference. If you're having any tingling numbness, get your wrists and hands into a position where you're not having that tingling numbness when you do this. But yeah, these are the things that can go on, like a barbell at the gym, keep the weights in place, but they're also great for, strengthening the wrists and hands. Let's see. I think we will get into what is happening or what can be happening in the wrists if you are getting tingling or numbness, whether it's in the hands, wrist, or in the elbow, or maybe you feel like it's connected to your neck, which if you feel that way, good chance that it might be. So we will talk about that in a follow-up video, but I hope you can take away some of these things today to just do before you get on a computer, before you start some manual labor, and also just as breaks through your day, do one of them, for 2 minutes. Step away from your keyboard, step away from whatever you're doing. Use it as a little break to breathe and help out your arms and wrists. And also, if you have capacity to do it after you've done the work for the day, then by all means, definitely try that out as well, in addition to, you know, any other measures you might like to take. For me, I'll share kind of like my regimen, which is some coldness, some ice if I feel really inflamed, and if not, then maybe, you know, I could go straight to heat, incorporating like a little bit of CBD oil, like self-massage into my wrists, or maybe some arnica cream or gel. And then, you know, if I'm really inflamed, I might have my arms my wrists in a brace to keep them straight if I'm like really having some trouble when I sleep at night. But I try to avoid that if I'm, you know, doing my stretches and doing my strengthening and doing my self-massage. But we will get into more conditions in our next video. So thank you all for watching. Hope that was helpful, and I'll see you soon.